Darius Cool first noticed the photo booth because of its color. It was the sort of red that looked black in the corner of your eye, the lacquered shell almost pulsing under the fluorescent lights of West River Bus Terminal. Rush hour commuters hustled past, eyes fixed on schedules and screens, while the booth sat at the edge of the concourse like a bored street magician, waiting for someone curious or reckless enough to ask for a trick. Every New York freelance reporter cultivated a private portfolio of oddities, in case an editor called hunting for copy. Darius's usually revolved around obituaries and street protests, but that evening he felt the tug of something stranger. The booth's coin slot bore a hand-lettered label, 1 photo $2, 0 cents. Beneath it, someone had taped an index card in crisp block letters. Portraitery. 2 hours. Behold what awaits the soul. The cryptic invitation might have been marketing or graffiti, but the foam tape holding it in place was new. Darius snapped a phone picture, intending to pitch a column about retro photo gadgets. Then he slipped 2 crumpled singles into the slot, mostly to see if the thing still worked. Inside, the curtain smelled of detergent and dust. Darius positioned himself on the cracked vinyl stool and pressed the lone button. No cheerful countdown flashed. Instead, a single amber bulb flicked to life, bathing him in antique gloom. He heard a mechanism whir, and the bulb went dark. That was it. No instant print, no digital preview. He waited 20 seconds before pushing back the curtain. The kiosk offered no instructions about pickup. Weird, he thought. Then he shrugged, scrolled through his email, and headed to the F line. 2 hours later, at exactly 8:17 p.m., he was 3 blocks from home, debating whether to reheat chili or order Thai, when police sirens shattered the evening. A small crowd gathered near a laundromat. Darius's reporter reflex propelled him closer. A city bus had mounted the curb, its windshield spiderwebbed from impact with a light pole. Medics worked frantically on a middle-aged woman pinned beneath the tires. A bystander cried that the driver had swerved to avoid a cyclist who'd blown a red light. Darius jotted quick notes: time, location, witness names. His gaze wandered toward the blood-slicked pavement, and there, half submerged in a slush puddle, lay a damp photo strip. He knelt. The top image showed a woman posing stiffly against a blank backdrop, her face frozen somewhere between smile and sneer. In the lower frame, the same woman appeared again, but the background had morphed, a blur of motion, a city bus lurching through air like a breaching whale. The timestamp in the corner read 1817. She had taken the photo exactly 2 hours earlier, precisely when Darius had sat in the same booth. A chill climbed his ribs. His own image would be ready soon. He debated making a beeline to West River, but the paramedics were lifting the woman's body. His conscience wouldn't let him flee. He filed quotes, snapped pictures, and called the night editor. Still, every word he typed trembled. On the subway ride back, each tunnel flash felt like a camera strobe aimed at him. The booth was deserted when he arrived. A thin strip of photographic paper protruded from the metal slot. He pulled it free, hands slick with sweat. First frame, Darius looking tired but alive. Second frame, a brick wall behind him had become a torn tableau of concrete rubble, smoke curling and a slab of glass raining downward like confetti. He leaned closer. Embedded in the glass shards was his own reflection, mouth open, limbs flailing, as though gravity had vanished. The timestamp on the second frame was 22:17, mere minutes 2 hours into the future. Darius swallowed. West River Terminal's ceiling was glass. He checked his phone. It was 2019. That left just under 2 hours. He told himself it was some sophisticated double exposure, a prank, but he dashed outside anyway, scanning rooftops, avoiding scaffolding, steering clear of construction zones. He considered hiding in his apartment's basement, but the photo's backdrop showed the terminal. Unmistakable. Something at the terminal would kill him unless he didn't go back. That seemed simple enough. Stay away. He booked a cheap rideshare to a friend's place in Queens. The driver joked about taking the long route because of traffic. Darius huddled in the back seat, more terrified of arriving early than late. Still, he survived the ride. His friend Leo welcomed him with beer and instant noodles. Midnight crept past. No stray meteorites, no falling glass. At 12:17, I.M. Darius let out a shaky laugh. The photograph was wrong. Hoax confirmed. He slept badly on Leo's couch. At dawn, a news alert pinged his phone. An explosion had ripped through West River Terminal's skylight overnight. Exact time, 22:17. A maintenance worker had reported a gas leak, and the ceiling had collapsed. 3 injured, 1 dead. A security guard patrolling the concourse. Darius stared at the article, heart hammering. He reread the description of the deceased. Male, mid-60s, black, uniformed, much older than Darius. Yet the photograph's rubble and glass existed. The booth had predicted not who, but what. If the machine showed the moment 2 hours before you died, maybe it had captured the environment accurately but not the subject. Or maybe Darius had cheated fate by leaving. The idea of fate being something you could simply walk away from should have thrilled him, but instead it hollowed his lungs. How many visitors had ignored their photos? How many had died on schedule? His editor rejected the story as creepypasta, so Darius turned to the one audience guaranteed to bite: online forums. He posted anonymized pictures, times, and the index card note. Within hours, the thread exploded. Users swapped rumors of similar booths in arcade in Osaka, a truck stop in Utah. Most were unverifiable, but one user, Tin Soldier 42, claimed to recognize the West River model. He offered schematics, insisted the booth had been hauled from a shuttered carnival upstate. They arranged to meet at a Brooklyn diner. Tin Soldier 42 turned out to be a petite engineer named Petra, wearing oil-stained coveralls. She dropped a pizza box-sized case on the Formica table and clicked it open to reveal brass cogs, wires, and a lens etched with concentric circles like a bruise. "Pulled this from a booth in Buffalo," she said. "Same make. Cameras don't use this kind of lens. It's like a needle eye." "A what?" "A camera obscura shrunk to nothing. Light goes in, but not all comes out." Darius asked if she believed the prophecy angle or thought it was psychological manipulation. Petra shrugged. "Either we have a machine that presses hallucinations onto film, or it's spitting out actual time-shifted images. Both options scare me." They returned to West River with a backpack of tools. The station had cordoned off the skylight ruin, but the photo booth remained untouched behind yellow tape. Darius felt the pull of its darkness like a black hole. Before hacking, Petra proposed a controlled test. She would enter, pay $2.00, and then they'd wait nearby to retrieve the strip. Darius set up his phone to record. Petra disappeared behind the curtain. 2 hours later, they collected the print. Petra's second frame depicted her leaning over a subway track, horror stretching her features as a train barreled toward her. Darius peered at the timestamp. 1841. It was 1642, Petra exhaled. "I haven't taken the train in years." "Then we keep you away from tracks." That was easy inside West River. The subway entrance was across the street. They camped at a coffee kiosk. With 5 minutes to spare, Petra grew jittery, restless. "My tools," she said suddenly. "I left my torque wrench in the booth." She sprang up before Darius could protest and sprinted across the concourse. He chased, yelling that he'd retrieve it later. Petra ignored him. She darted inside the booth, grabbed her wrench, and retreated. But at that moment, a panicked shout echoed from the mezzanine. A teenager toppled over the railing, bounced off a banister, and tumbled toward the lower level. Instinct drove Petra forward. She shoved Darius aside and lunged, as if she might catch the kid in midair. When Petra's foot hit the tiled floor, it skidded on spilled coffee. Her body tilted. She flailed, arms pinwheeling straight over the barricade of the subway stairwell. Darius watched, frozen, as she plummeted onto the tracks below. A train roared into the station, brakes screaming. 1841. It wasn't the vision exactly. She hadn't been standing on the tracks the way the photos showed, but the outcome was close enough to feel designed. Police questioned Darius for hours, and finally released, he walked home feeling as though the city had become glass under tension. His article about the prophetic booth flowed onto the screen in one white-hot sitting. He sent it to every publication he knew. Most bounced back auto-replies. One tabloid site bit, but they demanded proof of Petra's photo. Darius couldn't do it. He deleted the email, shut his laptop, and went to pour whiskey. 3 knocks rattled his door. Darius opened it to find a girl no older than 14 holding a manila envelope. "You're the reporter," she said. "My brother died. I need help." She introduced herself as Kendra Alvarez. Her brother, Marco, 20, had found the booth the previous week. He snapped a goofy picture, joked about Instagramming it, but 2 hours later he crashed his motorcycle at the intersection of 14th and Avenue C. According to Kendra, the photo's background had shown the intersection sign and a twisted pile of chrome. Darius felt the old guilt of every half-finished story. He asked for the print. She handed it over. Marco's face was confident, boyish. The second frame revealed a street lamp bent into a mangled knot. Pavement glittered with broken mirror shards. Maybe motorcycle pieces. Maybe something else. The timestamp matched the police report exactly. "Why come to me?" he asked. "Because you're the only person writing about it. Everyone says I'm making stuff up." Her throat worked. "I want to destroy the booth. Will you help?" He thought of Petra, of nearly dying himself, and of his unread emails. Destroying the booth felt like the most ethical article he might ever write. They returned after midnight armed with bolt cutters and a jug of kerosene. Darius tried the coward's route first, unplugging the machine. But the booth had no cord. The plug plate on the floor was empty, so he approached the curtain. "Stay back," he warned Kendra. "If it prints me, we'll waste time freaking out." He slid inside and felt again the hush, the smell of dust. He hesitated, then pressed the button, wanting to know what the machine would show to gain intelligence. The bulb winked. Done. They waited. At 1:57, the machine spat out a strip. Darius's palms trembled as he unfolded it. First frame, him, blank backdrop, eyes half closed. Second frame, circuitry, wires, sparks spraying, flame curling up red vinyl. His own face reflected in the glass door of a fire alarm cabinet, screaming. Timestamp 3:57. He looked at the kerosene jug and exhaled. "It's warning me about burning it. Maybe we shouldn't." Kendra's voice was a razor. "It's bluffing. It doesn't want to die, or it's predicting what happens if we go through with your plan. Either way, we win," she said. "Save you or destroy it." She reached for the jug. Darius grabbed her wrist. "We need to be smart. Maybe there's a power source inside. If we open the panel..." Metal groaned nearby. A maintenance guard strolled into sight, pushing a mop bucket. "Station's closed, folks." Kendra stiffened. 2 minutes. The guard frowned. "Now," she exploded. "It killed my brother." The guard's hand moved to his radio. Darius stepped between them, waving a placating gesture. Kendra used the distraction to heft the kerosene and splash it over the booth. Fumes tore at Darius's nostrils. The guard shouted an expletive, lunging forward, but Kendra was already flicking a lighter. Darius saw the second frame alive before him. The hiss of fluid, the glint of flame. Instinct overrode thought. He slapped the lighter from her hand. The metal clicked across tiles. Kendra stared, betrayal widening her pupils. The guard tackled them, pinning Darius against the photo booth, radio squawking for backup. In the scuffle, the booth rattled, curtain fluttering. A new strip ejected and drifted to the floor. Kendra wriggled free, snatched it, and froze. She held it out to Darius. "It's him." Marco beamed in the first frame. In the second, he crouched by the booth's curtain, palms against the glass wall of an aquarium tank smashed inward, water erupting around him. Timestamp 2:13, 14 minutes away. "Marco's dead," Darius whispered. Kendra shook her head violently. "Look at the background. That's the aquarium at the south gate. They're refurbishing it." The guard radioed for police, cuffs ready. Darius's mind raced. The machine wasn't showing the dead. It was showing whoever pressed the button, and maybe whomever it chose. Yet Marco's new image suggested he was alive somewhere. Or the booth was rewriting events. His phone buzzed. Unknown number. He answered. Static, then a frantic male voice. "I'm trapped. Data everywhere, please." Then a crash. The line died. Darius checked the call log. Marco Alvarez, possible. Kendra, where's his phone? The police released his stuff. It's at home in a box, battery dead. A roar reverberated through the terminal. Darius turned. Down the corridor, aquarium glass spidered, bulging outward. "No way," the guard muttered. The tank burst. Thousands of gallons spewed across the marble floor, sweeping benches, chairs, and kiosk racks into a tidal surge. Fish flopped in fluorescent cascades. People screamed. The deluge barreled toward them. Darius grabbed the guard's keys and unlocked the nearest maintenance closet. He shoved Kendra inside, yanked the guard after, and slammed the door as water slammed against it, rattling hinges. When the flood subsided minutes later, they emerged ankle-deep in water and flapping magazines. The photo booth stood, half-submerged but whole. Its curtain wafted lazily like gills. The guard's voice was small. You saved us." Darius didn't feel like a savior. He felt like a prisoner granted a reprieve by luck alone. Kendra knelt, pushing aside Fish to reach the booth. She slid her hand along its flank until her fingers found a hidden seam near the coin slot. "There's something under this panel," she said. The guard lent his screwdriver. The metal sheet popped off, revealing a lattice of gears that ticked without power. Nestled among them was a stack of undeveloped photo paper curling like a tongue, and behind that something Darius recognized from Petra's case, the needle-eye lens. But deeper, set into the frame, lay a rolled parchment sealed with crimson wax. He eased it out carefully. The wax bore a symbol, not corporate, but almost alchemical. An Ouroboros encircling an hourglass. He broke the seal. Inside, neat calligraphy in an archaic hand. "To the keeper of the mirror, sight is a bargain. Show them the hour and they will beg for eternity. You must witness in order to be spared. You must feed the eye in order to mend the thread. When the watcher refuses, the thread will fray. When the thread frays, the sea will come. When the sea comes, feed it a life and tie the knot anew." Below the script lay a final line. "You are the next keeper." The paper dissolved in his damp fingers, ink bleeding into spiral. Darius stared at the booth. The eye ticked, hungry. It had demanded Petra. It had demanded Marco. Now it demanded him, or Kendra, or the guard, or any curious soul. The prophecy wasn't rigid. It adapted until its appetite was satisfied. And it always warned, but the warning was part of the snare, goading fear, provoking reaction that bent events toward the vision. He understood then. Defiance could redirect the outcome, but not erase the cost. The eye needed equilibrium, a death, maybe more, to balance the thread of whatever power fueled it. The guard squelched forward. "We can't leave this here." Darius felt the torn envelope in his pocket, the memory card from his camera, loaded with material that could blow the secret open. Yet exposing it risked multiplying keepers. People would line up for a chance to cheat fate, and in their scrambling, lives would tumble like dominoes. Kendra's lip trembled. "It took my brother." Darius knelt beside her, hand on her shoulder. "We end it, but calmly. No fire, no explosions. Dismantle it piece by piece and bury the parts far apart." The guard eyed the submerged cables. "We'll need tools." He fetched a wrench, passed it to Darius. Together they loosened the eye, gears clicking faster as if in panic. The booth produced another strip. The first frame showed the three of them working. The second frame was blank, a white void. Timestamp now, a blank future waiting to be written. Darius smiled grimly. "Guess we surprised it." They unscrewed the lens. The ticking stopped. Kendra set the eye in an evidence bag, sealing the darkness behind plastic. The booth sagged, lifeless. Somewhere beyond West River, emergency crews were already arriving, sirens wailing. Cameras would document the shattered aquarium, the flood, the miracle of no fatalities. Reporters would ask why the skylight collapsed days earlier, why water mains burst tonight. Darius could write the story they expected: aging infrastructure, heroic guard, plucky teenager. Or he could hold the truth close, protecting the fragile zero on the second frame's blank image. He pictured importing his photos, typing lines his editor would brand as fiction. The eye would lure eyeballs, ad clicks, more seekers, and more deaths. Darius slipped the evidence bag into his coat. He and Kendra sloshed toward the maintenance exit, the guard covering their retreat. "You sure about this?" the guard asked. "I'm sure," Darius said. "Tomorrow I'll rent a boat, drop this in the Atlantic. Then I'll burn my notes." Kendra exhaled. "What if I finds its way back?" "Then I'll be waiting." He offered her a tired grin. "I'm the keeper now, remember?" She managed a faint smile. Together they stepped into the night, where rain washed the city clean and no cameras flashed, at least none that promised to show the last 2 hours of a life not yet spent.